Hello, inspired principals, future principals, and those that aspire to be a principal, assistant principals. Welcome again to another episode of Becoming an Inspired Principal. I'm your host. I'm here to give you some tips on how to be an instructional leader, again, based on the book Inspire. 7 Systems for Transforming Underperforming Schools. All right, and the Inspire stands for different things. So right now we're talking about the I, which is instructional leadership, which is very important as a leader. I've given you strategies in this chapter. One of the third strategy that I'm going to give you today is to recognize. You have to be able to recognize an instructional problem as a leader. When you walk into the classroom, you should be able to recognize, is teaching and learning going on? All right? And I didn't just say teaching going on, because if there's teaching without learning, then no one benefits. So a lot of times teachers will be teaching and they say they cover the material, but there's no actual learning going on. So another quote in my book is, the presence of teaching does not automatically guarantee the presence of learning. An instructional problem arises when there is a lack of alignment between the teacher's expectation and the student's actual level of understanding. So you have to be able to recognize when the teacher have expectations and they're teaching, but the students are not actually understanding those teachers' expectations. All right? That's very critical, and you can resolve those by seeing what kind of formative assessments are being given, making sure that she's testing the student's level of understanding, seeing how engaged students are. If she's asking if there's additional support, the questioning techniques that he or she is using, all of those things. When you walk into a classroom as a principal, you need to be able to understand that, hey, it's every student in that classroom understanding what that teacher is teaching. And one of the ways we did that, by the end of the lesson, during the lesson, first starting off the lesson, the teacher should be able to tell the students what they are learning. So by the end of the lesson, there's 3 questions we want students to make sure they can do, and this should happen during the lesson, but they need to be able to know what they're learning, why is it important, and how will they know once they've learned it. So if I walk into a classroom and they can't answer those 3 questions about the lesson, then they're probably not getting the lesson. But there's several ways to build that culture of making sure that you're able to recognize instructional problems. But it's definitely critical in the process of